All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a very interesting story coming to you today about Visions of Mana. Something very strange just happened with this game, and it's honestly not something that we've seen happen in a long time. I'm trying to think back to a similar situation of when this occurred, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head, nothing recent anyway. Well, apparently, just one day after Visions of Mana has released, and I remember Cult Classic Cage talking about this game. One day after Visions of Mana has hit the shelves, the developer, Uka Studios, has completely been gutted by the parent company NetEase Games and is being shut down.
Please disperse! Nothing to see here!
Now, this is a very strange development that's happening with this video game, and I honestly don't even understand why this is happening. Now, to my knowledge, this game was being published by Square Enix, so unfortunately for them, they're going to have to take yet another L on their face to some degree. But Visions of Mana was a game that a lot of people were talking about, a lot of people were looking forward to. And like I said, I know a few people that were talking about this game as well. I might even pick it up because I love video games like this. But ultimately, the fact that a fucking studio got shut down literally one day after releasing their game without any sort of news whatsoever, without any conversation as to why this occurred, I just find this all to be extremely sus. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Again, guys, Visions of Mana was published by Square Enix this year, and one day after the publication and one day after the release of the game, the studio gets shut down. In one of the fastest turnarounds between a game releasing and its studio shutting down perhaps ever seen. Again, I'm trying to think back. I have never seen anything. If you guys can remember anything close to this, please let me know in the comments down below. Developer Uka Studios has reportedly been shuttered by parent company NetEase Games just a day after their newest title, Visions of Mana, was released to the public. This news regarding the studio was first detailed by Bloomberg's Takashi Mochizuki, who is on August 29th, reported that per his insider sources, NetEase has cut all but a handful of jobs at its Uka studio in Tokyo, ahead of their newly decided plans to shut the Shibuya outfit down. The few that remain will oversee the rollout of its final games before the studio winds down, noted Mochizuki. So, very interesting. So there is going to be a few people that are going to be left over that are going to see the rollout of its final game. So I guess the studio's not officially shut down just yet, but it's going to be shut down. So essentially, once the game's actually released, they're going to shutter the studio entirely. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is the strangest story I've ever seen in my entire life. Pressed on by the news by the reporter, the Chinese-based NetEase informed him that they had nothing to announce regarding the specific closure of Uka Studios, instead choosing to provide him with a canned PR statement. Okay, let's see what they said. In supporting studios outside China, we craft our strategy based on our goal of providing better gaming experiences to local and global players. A NetEase spokesperson said to Mochizuki, "We are thus always making necessary adjustments to reflect market conditions." That's it? That's literally it. Like that's all you're gonna say. You just released this fucking game. How are you just gonna say, well, we need to make necessary adjustments to reflect market conditions? You haven't even seen if this game is gonna sell yet or not. Do you have that little faith in this game? Are the pre-order numbers that bad? Like, what is it about this story that is just not making sense to me? I feel like I'm missing something. I'm missing some context here that would help me understand just a little bit better. But let's continue and see if we can find it. Notably, this announcement of Uka Studios shutdown comes just 4 years after it was first established. Oh, so what? It wasn't even around for that long. Furthermore, according to Mochizuki, it appears that this move was made in response to both NetEase's stagnating investments in various Japanese studios. In addition to Uka Studios, their portfolio also includes the Yakuza series creators eponymous Nagoshi Studio, Suda51's Grasshopper manufacturer, and former veteran Capcom producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi's GPT Tracks 50 studio, which, coupled with the recent success of Black Myth Wukong, has reportedly led the parent company to consider putting more effort into their own homegrown Productions. You know, when I was talking about Black Myth Wukong, I was saying that Black Myth Wukong is going to cause a ripple through China. I really believe that. Black Myth Wukong is going to cause a ripple through a country that is otherwise known for gacha games, otherwise known for mobile games. Black Myth Wukong is going to showcase to them that if you make solid, extremely fun, and very interesting single-player experiences, that there is massive amounts of money to be made. Not even just in China, but in the international market too, here in the US, depending on what kind of game it is. People are looking for that stuff. People are hungry for single-player games, single-player top-tier experiences. That's what people are looking for. This is why, if you look at the numbers for Black Myth Wukong, it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down, because people are playing the game, they're going to sleep, they're going to work, and they're coming back home and playing the game. And you see every single day, it constantly hits that 2 million mark at some point throughout the day. So people just keep returning and returning and returning to play it, and it's not just a one and done, or it's not just, hey, they played it and got bored and dropped it right away. So people are obviously enjoying that game, and I think it's going to open the eyes of a lot of Chinese developers out there that perhaps focus on stuff other than AAA single-player games. At current, it is unknown which specific titles Uka Studios still has yet to roll out. However, in a 2022 interview with Japanese video games news outlet Famitsu, the studio revealed that they were working on a total of 3 games: a single-player game that could be categorized as an action RPG, a new style battle game based on a certain series with passionate fans, and a cooperative action game based on an original IP. While it's possible that the action RPG could have been Square Enix published Vision of Mana, particularly with one of its developers' suggestion that as for the atmosphere, it is a game in which you'll go on an adventure in a cozy world, this theory currently remains in the realm of just speculation. But regardless, since this initial tease of their existence, absolutely no specific confirmation regarding these mystery titles has ever been given by Oka Studios or NetEase Games. And given that the studio is now working with a skeleton crew, one wonders if anyone is related to the current operations will ever revisit these teases. I don't understand why. You might as well just shutter the entire studio. Why would you keep them open on the skeleton crew when you have multiple games that need to come out? It's not like you're just finishing up one game, or it's not like you're just trying to do a little bit of live service elements to one particular game that's already out. You have multiple games that have to come out, and you're shuttering the crew damn near to a skeleton crew. That is not a good look. And then you're going to end up having these people stick around only to know that they're going to lose their jobs after they're done. What the fuck? Like, what kind of environment are you trying to foster here, where people are going to be morally defeated before they even get to work, right? People are going to be not wanting to necessarily put their best foot out there, knowing that they're going to have to find a new job afterwards. I'm sure that the people who are left over are being very well compensated to some degree to try to keep them there. I'm sure that's a thing. But ultimately, it really can't be well compensated enough to be okay with losing your job afterwards, right? You would have to have some sort of plan in place. But regardless, this is the weirdest title, and this is something that I did not think was ever going to happen when people were talking about Visions of Mana. When this game was set to release, I didn't think the story the next day would be that the studio would be fucking shut down. I didn't think that was going to be a thing, or at least butchered into the current form that it is in right now. That's insane to me. So hopefully we come to find out more information regarding Visions of Mana, but as of right now, it's just not looking good. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.